Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to One Stop Biology. So today we are going to cover different phylum of the kingdom Animalia or animal kingdom. So basically we have covered the first three chapters of NCERT class 11th and we are at the fourth chapter. And in that as well we have covered almost half of the chapter wherein we have covered the introduction basis of classification in the first video, and then I think five different phylum in the next two videos. Okay, so today we are going to start with phylum Annelida. Okay, so basically in the phylum Annelida, these organisms are mostly aquatic. Okay, and that too marine and freshwater. Now they can be terrestrial as well, and then on the basis of their habitat they can be free living as well as parasitic. Okay, so you can see that they now are found in varied environment wherein they are found in marine and freshwater. They are terrestrial, they are free living as well as parasitic. Now the level of body organization is advanced, which is organ system type, and then they have bilateral symmetry. Okay, now if it comes to the basically cell layering, they are triploblastic, that is they have all three types of layers, which is ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. They are metamerically segmented, so their body is segmented. We heard of this word when we were discussing the basis of classification, right? And then they are coelomate, so they have true coelom, they have body cavity. Okay, the segments are known as metamers. So why the phylum name is Annelida? This is because they have metamers. And what are metamers? Basically the body surface of annelids are very distinctly marked out into what? Segments or metamers. And this is why their name is Annelida. So what does Annelida basically mean? If you break it or if you just understand its meaning, it means annulus, which means little rings. Okay, now they have longitudinal and circular muscles for locomotion. Okay, now there are some aquatic annelids as we saw here. So the aquatic annelids like Nereis is an example, also has lateral appendages. Now these lateral appendages are known as parapodia and it helps them in swimming. Okay, now let's go to the circulatory system. So they have closed circulatory system. Okay, so they have closed circulatory system. So basically that means that their circulatory system is well defined. Then they have nephridia and it helps in osmoregulation and excretion. So we in the previous videos heard of what? Flame cells, and what these flame cells used to do, it used to help in osmoregulation and excretion for that phylum, right? Organisms of that phylum. So can you just name that phylum in the comments as you go through this video? Please do that. Now the neural system is basically made of paired ganglia. Okay, so the paired ganglia, and that is basically connected by lateral nerves to a double neural nerve cord. Okay, so they have paired ganglia which connects to double neutral nerve cord. Okay, now the Nereis, which is of aquatic form, is dioecious. So basically they have separate sexes. But earthworm and leeches are monoecious. So they are basically hermaphrodite. Okay. Now the reproduction in annelids are basically sexual, and some examples are Nereis, which is again the aquatic form, Pheretima, which is earthworm, and Hirudinaria, that is leech. So let's see some structures or some diagrams. Okay, so basically this is the diagram of Nereis and this is Hirudinaria or leech. Now as you can see that in both the cases they have small kind of equally segmented body. Okay, so here also you can see that the body is completely segmented. So this is Annelida. Now let's move on to the second phylum, which is Arthropoda. So I don't know whether you guys know this or not, that Arthropoda is the largest phylum. Okay, so in the animal kingdom, Arthropoda is the largest phylum, and it consists of what? It consists of insects. Okay, so it includes insects. Now, two-thirds of all named species on Earth are arthropods. Okay, now what kind of body organization they have? So they have organ system level. So basically, the body organization is advanced. They have organ system. They are bilaterally symmetrical. They are bilaterally symmetrical. Then they are triploblastic. They have ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Right? They are segmented and they are coelomate. They have true body cavity as well. Now the body of arthropods is covered with chitinous exoskeleton. Okay, so they have a hard covering basically. And chitinous exoskeleton is nothing but made of chitin, which is a protein. Okay, their body now consists of head, thorax, and abdomen. Okay, so their body consists of head, thorax, and abdomen, and they have joint appendages. Okay, and that is how their name is arthropoda. So if you understand the meaning of this word, it is basically broken down into two words. First is arthros, which means joint, and poda, which means appendages. Okay, so that is how they are named as arthropoda. Now, the respiratory organs which are found in arthropoda are gills, book lungs, and tracheal system. Okay, so these are the respiratory organs. Now, circulatory system in them is of open time. So basically, they do not have several vessels to circulate blood. Okay, they just pump out blood on the cells and tissues and organ systems. Okay, so the circulatory system is of open type. Then they have sensory organs. So they have sensory organs. And what are the sensory organs? So that is antenna, eyes. Now eyes can be compound as well as simple, and they have statocysts. Okay, so statocysts are nothing but the balance organs. Okay, so they have sensory organs as well. So now you can see that as we are moving ahead on the different phylums, we are coming up across different type of organs as well, and these organs are specially created for them in order to support their day-to-day living. Okay, then they have excretory system, and excretion takes place through Malpighian tubules. Okay, so excretion takes place through Malpighian tubules. Now when it comes to reproduction, they are mostly dioecious. That means the sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. Okay, and they are mostly oviparous, so they produce eggs. Okay, and then after eggs are reproduced, then development may be direct or indirect through larval stage. Okay, now some examples of Arthropoda are Apis, which is nothing but honeybee, Bombyx mori, which is silkworm. Then we have Laccifer, which is lac insect. Then we have different vectors like the mosquitoes. So we have anopheles, we have culex, we have Aedes, all are different species of mosquitoes. We have gregarious pests like Locusta. We have a living fossil like Limulus, which is a king crab. So basically, you can see that there are a lot of diversity. There's a lot of diversity when it comes to phylum Arthropoda. So this is a locust. Okay, this is a butterfly. This is a prawn, and it's a scorpion. And all are part of phylum Arthropoda. Okay. Now the next phylum that we are going to discuss is Mollusca. So basically, Mollusca again is the second largest animal phylum. Okay, so Mollusca is the second largest animal phylum, and then they are terrestrial as well as aquatic. So they can be terrestrial or aquatic, and then they can be marine or freshwater when it comes to a water organism. Now, what kind of body organization do they have? Again, they have an advanced type organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, they are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Okay, now here what we saw in the case of Arthropoda is basically a chitinous covering, right? A chitinous exoskeleton. Here the body is covered by calcareous shell and is unsegmented with, so the body is not segmented as in case of annelids and arthropods. Here the body is unsegmented and basically it forms a head, a muscular foot, and visceral hump. And it is covered by a calcareous shell. Now the space between hump and mantle, okay, so the space between hump and mantle is called as mantle cavity. Okay, so this is called as mantle cavity in which feather-like gills are present. So what is present in the space between hump and mantle? Feather-like gills are present. Okay, then they have soft and spongy layer of skin which forms a mantle over the visceral hump. They have soft and spongy layer of skin that forms a mantle over the visceral hump. Okay, so when it comes to respiratory and excretory functions, both the functions are present as they have gills for respiration, like, and then the anterior head region has what? It has sensory tentacles. Okay, now the mouth contains file-like rasping organ for feeding, which is known as radula. So their mouth contains file-like, basically very thin rasping organ for feeding. Okay, when it comes to reproduction, they are again dioecious, so sexes are separate and they lay eggs. So they are oviparous with indirect development, that means larval stage is present. Now examples of mollusca are Pila, which is an apple snail or a garden snail. Then we have Pinetida, we have Septa, which is a cuttlefish, Loligo, which is in squid, we have octopus, we have Aplysia, we have Dentalium. Okay, so there are a lot of examples. Again, you see that there are a lot of diversity and there are a lot of variety in animals which are part of the phylum Mollusca. Okay, so with this we have finished three more phylums. I hope you understood the video. If yes, please do like the video and share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for sure in order to get all the updated videos on time, right? And if you did not understand even a single word in this video, then please do mention in the comments below or do let me know on the WhatsApp number which is given in the description of this video. Okay, I hope you're understanding this chapter very well because this will form the basis of your understanding of all the phylums and basically all the animals present on earth. Okay, so have a good preparation, guys. Bye bye.